Can a soulless being draw souls closer to God and salvation? Shalom from ShelanuTV in Israel. In today's video, we invite you, our viewers, to take part in our little experiment. We asked an AI agent to act as a pastor who wished to create an inspiring message for his congregation. The instructions we gave it were succinct and quite clear: to create an insightful, comprehensive message that is based on the whole Bible, not on a certain topic from this great book of wisdom, but a message that would capture the essence of everything, from the first verse in Genesis to the last in Revelations. Now, pretend you're in church and I am your pastor, and while I preach and deliver my message, ask yourselves this one simple question: can a non-spiritual being deliver a spiritual message? So, make sure you stick around till the end, because we would love to hear your honest opinion about it. Let's do this. The Bible is not a book of rules, nor a mere collection of ancient writings. It's a story, the story that tells us where we came from, why we're here, what went wrong, and how everything will one day be made right. At its heart, the Bible isn't about our search for God. It's about God's relentless pursuit of us. It's a love story, a war story, a rescue mission, and a royal drama all at once. It's both history and destiny. And we are not bystanders in this story. We are participants. We were born into a world already mid-chapter, and the author is still writing. In the beginning, God created, not from chaos, but with care. With each word he spoke, beauty burst into existence, light, land, life, and then mankind. Formed from dust, crowned with glory, humanity was made in God's image. Male and female, Adam and Eve, walked with God in the garden. No shame, no separation, only perfect union. But love requires choice, and tragically, they chose rebellion. They distrusted God's heart and reached for what was forbidden. In that moment, sin entered the world like poison into a stream, distorting everything. They were exiled from Eden, but not abandoned. Even in judgment, God made a promise, a mysterious prophecy in Genesis 3:15, that one day a descendant of the woman would crush the serpent's head. The rescue plan had already begun. Centuries passed, humanity spread, so did sin, pride, violence, and idolatry. But in the midst of it all, God called a man, Abraham. To him, God made an astounding promise: through your seed, all the nations of the earth will be blessed. From Abraham came Isaac, and then Jacob, then the 12 sons who became the tribes of Israel. God delivered their descendants from slavery in Egypt through Moses splitting the sea, leading them through the wilderness, giving them the law at Sinai, not just rules, but a covenant, a wedding vow between God and his people. They were to be a kingdom of priests, a light to the nations, yet they struggled, just as we do, with faithfulness. Still, God never broke his end of the covenant. Israel entered the promised land, but the pattern repeated: blessing, disobedience, consequences, repentance, restoration. They asked for a king, and God gave them one: Saul, then David, then Solomon. Under David, Israel flourished, and God made another covenant: one of your descendants will reign forever. But the king grew corrupt. The people chased idols. The kingdom split. Eventually, both Israel and Judah were conquered and the people exiled. Yet the prophets cried out with hope. Isaiah spoke of a suffering servant. Micah foresaw a ruler from Bethlehem. Zechariah saw someone pierced. Daniel even gave a timeline for his coming. The prophets declared, Messiah is coming. Then the voices fell silent for 400 years. Then, in the least expected way, the silence was broken. Not with fire from heaven, but with the cry of a newborn in Bethlehem, born of a virgin, in poverty, in obscurity. His name was Yeshua, Jesus, which means God saves. He healed the sick, opened blind eyes, and taught with authority. But he also confronted hypocrisy and called people to radical repentance. He was not just a teacher, prophet, or miracle worker. He was the Word made flesh, fully God and fully man. He lived a sinless life, the only one who ever did, and then he did something unimaginable. He offered himself as the final sacrifice. On a Roman cross, he bore the full weight of our sin, our shame, and our judgment. He was pierced for our transgressions, and by his wounds we are healed. The serpent struck his heel, but 3 days later, Yeshua arose, alive, victorious. Death had been defeated. Before ascending, Yeshua gave one final instruction: go and make disciples of all nations. And then came the Spirit. At Pentecost, God filled his people with power, and the message of the risen King exploded out of Jerusalem. First to the Jews, then to the Gentiles. From Peter to Paul, from synagogues to cities. This was not a new religion. It was the fulfillment of everything the Torah and the prophets pointed to. Followers of Yeshua were called to be one body, Jews and Gentiles reconciled, not by law, but by grace. Not to abolish the Torah, but to fulfill it in the spirit of the Messiah. The apostles wrote letters, instruction, encouragement, correction, all centered on the crucified and risen Christ. And yet, the story still wasn't over. We live in the already but not yet. The kingdom has begun, but not in fullness. Sin is still real. Injustice still screams. Death still touches every family. But the tomb is still empty. The Spirit still moves, and the invitation still stands. God is still calling people, not just to believe, but to belong. Not to religion, but to relationship. Not to escape the world, but to transform it. You were not born by accident. You were born into a war between kingdoms, and the king has already made his move. The Bible ends not with a disembodied heaven, but with a new creation, a new heaven and a new earth. No more death, no more tears, no more night. Behold, the dwelling of God is with man, and at the center a throne, and on it the Lamb who was slain. Every nation, tribe, and tongue worshiping in unity. This is where the story ends, but also where it truly begins. So, where do you stand? The story of the Bible isn't finished, not yet. The final chapter is still coming, but the page we're on is still being written. You have a role. You were made to know this God, not from a distance, but as a child knows their father. He has already made the first move. The question now, will you respond? The garden is no longer guarded. The veil has been torn. The invitation is open. Come home. That's it. That was an artificial intelligence's ambitious attempt to create a meaningful message about the most spiritual document in humankind's history. Nothing added, nothing revised, 100% made by AI. So, what do you think? Can a machine touch the soul of a flesh and blood being and shape the very core of our faith from within? Or was the message too cold and devoid of that one thing we all so desperately need in this technological era: human emotion? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. On behalf of the ShelanuTV team in Israel, thank you for watching this video.